In this video, you're gonna learn how to stop getting nervous around really beautiful women.
The kind of like psychological shift guys have when they encounter an extremely attractive woman is that they think they need to do all these extra things to impress her. And that's why most guys fail. It's really actually simplifying it, because the most attractive women have the least amount of authentic communication from the outside world, because somebody's always trying to get something from them. So if you can actually just be comfortable and talk to them normally like you would anyone else, as ironic and counterintuitive as it sounds, you will stand out like an attractively sore thumb.
Well, I resonate a lot with that because, as you know guys, I was in a 6-year-long relationship almost, so when I got out of it, almost every girl was attractive to me. And I was nervous around every girl, so like I resonate with that a lot, and like the more I would go out, the more comfortable I would get. There is still something in me that thought that some types of women were just not for me, and I would have to work a lot to get them and just learn a lot of stuff. What really made a difference for me is actually because I was lucky. I accidentally approached my actual girlfriend, who is probably a girl that I would consider very out of my league at the time, and everything flowed naturally. And from there I just realized that I had a connection with someone that I really appreciate. And when I would approach women that would be very, very attractive after that, I would not be triggered, because I would realize that most of them are actually more boring than I thought. Most of them would be just not that fun, and I would not connect necessarily with them. So I was kind of lucky to have that experience of something works, right? And that would just put me outside of my head. That being said, I still had that problem of I don't really know how to date or attract those beautiful women, and that actually was solved by my friend here, Josiah, who gave me that tip. Instead of, going into the bars and try to talk to people or nightclubs and just warm up and work your way up to the girl you actually wanted to talk to, reverse that. Start to just enter somewhere and start to talk to the most beautiful women there. And if it doesn't work, well, fuck it. And like, when you get used to this first rejection, then it's just simpler.
It's like getting the hardest one out of the way. And even though you realize it's no harder than just talking to any woman. She's just a little bit more attractive.
Sorry, and paradoxically what happens is that at some point you don't necessarily see this difference in the looks anymore. You see more like with whom you would like to genuinely talk to.
Yeah, I had to personally go through a lot of contrast because I'm very short. I learned one of two things that I asked myself every single time that I would do this is, what does my life look like if I do this? And what does my life look like if I don't do this? And I never know what's gonna happen, so might as well just do it. So one of two things that I always do was like, I would follow a lot of David Data, right? The Way of the Superior Man. I read his Attract So Many Women, You Have to Eliminate Them, and the Radical Honesty, right? Because I would always put the idea that my subconscious would always find the right women that are looking for me. Just because it's that sophisticated. And then the radical honesty where it's like, I'm actually showing how nervous I am. The worst thing that she can say is just no, might as well. And one of the most beautiful women that I've come across with and had the experience to actually be with.
I would reframe that with the best thing that she can say is no.
Yeah.
Because then you just get the experience and it doesn't matter anymore. You got that no.
Move on to somebody who will say yes.
Yeah.
And I think the key component when you're feeling really nervous around really beautiful women is that you got to stop putting them on a pedestal, like you said, right? Especially nowadays with so much information out there. We see all these pictures of beautiful women on Instagram, and a lot of guys watch pornography because it's no big deal. It's like, it's a cool thing to do. You got to stop doing that. You got to stop watching porn. You got to stop even following all these really beautiful Instagram models, because you see that all the time. You see these perfect women and you're just like, wow, oh my gosh, I want that. And every time you do that, you put her on a pedestal. Even when you see her in real life and you think, wow, she's so hot, or you say that to your buddies, wow, look at her, she's so hot. You gotta stop doing that. Instead, you gotta see them as regular people. Say, yeah, she looks pretty. Let's go find out if she's cool.
So one of my students, he just approached a girl who looked very average, I would say. And he just got a date with her and everything went well. Then she left or something like that. And like 2 months later, he sent me a text saying that she was modeling for L'Oreal, actually. So he got a date with her not knowing that she was like, when she puts makeup on and she gets prepped and, you know, pictures are edited. That's the truth.
Yeah.
Especially on Instagram nowadays, just go on YouTube and just look for, you know, fake Instagram profile. Like there are so many videos out there that will show you how these people can change their entire figure.
Yeah,
Aesthetics
Photoshop
by
is sorcery.
Photoshop.
I've seen a lot of skinny chicks who aren't actually skinny chicks when you see the real, like real shots in the real video.
You could do plastic surgery on the apps now. And totally.
What?
Oh yeah. You can change the nose size and size of everything. Yeah. Jen does that.
Another really powerful mindset shift that you can make is, I took this from Zen Perion. It's the, do I like her, does she like me? Boys ask, does she like me in their mind? Does she like me? Does she like me? Did she like what I said? What do you think that's gonna do to your state? How do you think you're gonna feel when you're constantly seeking her approval, right? Instead, shift your focus to, do I like her? What do I like about her? Does she have something interesting to say? Because imagine that your face is literally a screen, a marquee, right? She's gonna be able to see any of your thoughts projected on your face. So when we get this with students all the time in model work, right? They look like little boys or deer in headlights, where they say something, they're like, looking for her approval, right? She sees that and it is super unattractive, and it's as well gonna destroy your interaction. But when you shift it to, what do I look like about her? And you're looking, right? You're looking into her. What do I like about her? What interesting things does this woman have? Is she just a pretty face? Your expression and your energy is completely different, and that has a very profound effect, not just on really beautiful women, but all women in general. And you see the more emotional development and maturity people get, especially men, we have more of a severe look on our face, right? For the world, we're kind of more discerning around the world. When you see that you have a lot of nice guy and a lot of supplicating qualities, you'll see people walking around the street and they're like, kind of like looking around, literally like children or deer in headlights. So when you develop this habit in your approaches and your interactions, actually look for what you like about her beyond just her looks. Because the problem is you give her all this value just because she looks good. That's the simple mindset shift. Do I like her versus does she like me?
Yeah, you're more proactive than reactive.
Yeah. Exactly, does she like me is reactive.
And remember that she's just a normal person without makeup on, with a different, not so sexy outfit, like in her pajamas.
Simple. She farts too. She poops too. Yeah. She does it all. Like
and women have just as many, if not more, insecurities than we do. They just see our insecurities first because they are masters of picking up body language, right? But when you get to know a lot of these really, really beautiful women and get closer with them, and you start seeing the insecurities and fears and anxieties that they have, it transforms your world. I mean, it humanizes them, right?
Yeah, it's simple. Like, think of it this way. If she is judged for not being attractive, her entire world might just...
Yeah, that's all of her value.
Yeah, because women are affirmed either by society or themselves. We always have to affirm ourselves, no matter what. That's why the nice guy came up, right? Because we didn't have male models for a long time, so we had society kind of give us these easy things where we had food and water and shelter without even earning it. So a lot of the guys didn't have that rite of passage that happens so much.
And think about this, when you're looking at a beautiful woman and she's the prize in your mind, it's just because the wrapping is really nice. You have no idea what the gift is inside, right? But it's the opposite for men, because it's really what's inside for us that counts. What do we have going on? What's our passion? What are our goals? What are our accomplishments? And again, you don't necessarily have to have incredible accomplishments to be a high value man. You just have to know your values. You just have to know what you want in life. You want to be clear, discerning, and direct.
Tall girls love me. Like, I'm super short and they love me. Yeah.
Because you're on your purpose.
Yeah.
You know what that is, you're on path.
Yeah.
And they can feel that.
That's masculine.
I think of it more of in a practical sense. If you're looking for a girl who you want to get away from pedestaling girls, there's that old saying, you know, the road to 9s and 10s is paved with 7s and 8s, right? Been a saying around forever. But we used to play, I think you actually taught this, was we played the hottest girl of the day game.
Oh, yeah.
Hottest girl of the day, comma, game. And so you would pick out, you'd see a cute girl, a girl you're attracted to, and you'd approach her. But if you saw another girl cuter than her, you had to approach her as well. So it kept amping up like your level. And you find there's a lot of psychological things going on. Like just because she's physically a 10 on the outside, she could be a 5 or a 6 or less on the inside. I've dated a girl who was stunner, model level, physically attractive, but she was childlike and her level of self-esteem was like, you know? Yeah, we've all had that moment.
But that game has changed my life.
Yeah, so it's a practical application of the science behind it, right? One of the funniest things is when you consistently start meeting and talking to hot women, or bedding hot women, or going to, sleeping with hot women, you'll find that they're not all created equal. It's not like, oh, she's really hot, she must also be good in bed. Matter of fact, I would say more often than not, it's actually the reverse.
And that's the halo effect, I believe, right? She's beautiful, therefore she must have all these other things in her life that are also beautiful, but that's not usually the case.
That's usually not the case.
And I think another key is the tension, right? The beautiful woman, like we know there's gonna be a lot of tension when we approach her. She makes us feel all this tension before we, just the thought of approaching her stirs up all this emotion. And you just gotta put yourself in that tension. You just have to do it. Just experience it, even if you fail, even if you look like a fool in front of the most beautiful woman in the club or walking down the street, but you got to experience that now. And when you get to do that, then each time it becomes easier and easier, which of course is why we bring in so many models on our workshop so that guys can experience that, stand this close to them and experience all those emotions that come up, all that tension that comes up, and they can deal with it and release it.
It's all about what
And then when they see a beautiful woman walking down the street, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
It's easy to approach.
I think depending on where you're coming from, like if you just believe, then you'll see it. Like your subconscious will automatically fall in place. But some guys need to go through, yes.
Yeah.
Some guys need to go through all that pain to feel like they actually deserve that woman for some reason. So it just depends. They're both sides of the same mountain, but if you want to take the easy route, then just believe it. And if you want to take the harder route and feel like you earned it, by all means. I mean, I know I took that. I did too.
Usually,
I wish there was an easy way to just,
Yeah.
I believe beautiful women.
But that's
love
why
me.
that's why it's so
Deep
easy
down.
for us
But
to
yeah,
teach.
you do the inner game work that we teach on our workshops,
Yeah.
and then you start to believe it, right? You start working on the mindset,
Yeah.
and then you also work on the actions at the same time, like you said, inner game, outer game, and then
Yeah,
create
when
the
I
whole,
had Q
become the best version of yourself.
on the mentoring program, he did it in 60 days. Like he just fully believed it, and then he just went.
Well, most of our students have this seeing women as too beautiful for them, also as an excuse to not necessarily as an excuse to not do something, but to an excuse to not fail, because they have a reason, right? She was just too hot, like she was just too much. And what I figured is that what makes the most difference is to get this, just go all in with her and just assume that it's not gonna work. It doesn't matter. Just go all in and do as if it was someone else and just get this true rejection. But it helps to have someone behind, just to make sure that you're safe. That's also what our guys appreciate a lot on boot camps, is that they can have that experience with someone that also makes sure that nothing bad happens. They also get emotionally safe and they don't have a breakdown, and that they can learn from it. Like it's as with everyone. You mentioned the tension. Like most girls that are approached, let's say every day, even if it's indirect, they don't have that effect of I am actually desired. They just have men that come there to try to basically buy her, in a sense, right? With other qualities, with status, with looks. It would just show something, but they never have someone that is genuinely like showing her that she will probably have a good time with them, right?
And that's another point I want to add on. Like we were talking about earlier with how fake pictures can be of women, how much makeup and surgeries and who knows what else is out there to enhance women's beauty. Beautiful women nowadays are a dime a dozen. What's more rare is a man who goes for what he wants. And when you get better and better at going for what you want, you really stand out and you really start to see that you're the prize. But the very fact that you're approaching and you're going out there and you're being direct makes you the prize automatically already, even if you don't believe it. Because that woman you're talking to, no matter what happens, there's gonna be thousands and thousands more at her caliber in beauty, right? So that really helps you shift and start seeing that you really are the prize.
Yeah. And once you start approaching more, then you'll start seeing the subcommunications. And basically, women are always looking for that man that can catch those. Because women, like, I don't even need to approach anymore at this point. Because, like, women are approaching me. Because they can see that I have those qualities, that I am grounded, that I am sure of myself, that I do know what I'm looking for. And then they're just giving me, you know, the eyes, or they're like...
Right, you have the belief that you're good enough, so you don't put women on the pedestal. But the problem is, right, these guys, they put women on a pedestal because they believe they're not good enough, right? So the belief is like the root issue. And so how do you fix that? Purpose. You're on your purpose, and you start...
You gotta be a higher value man than her. That's it.
Yeah, you're on your purpose, and you love yourself.
Yes.
As far as what to exactly do when a woman is, you feel that she's outside of your league, it's pretty simple. Women like that don't get very genuine compliments. So just look at her, how she looks, and what exactly is attractive. Is it in her eyes? What exactly in her eyes makes it attractive? What in her way of appearing? Is it her energy? Is it the way she walks? Is it...
So instead of focusing on the nervousness in your body, you focus on that. Is that what you're saying?
You focus on that, and that has two sides. First, it gets you into this place of approaching out of giving her some value and standing out from other men that are just there, just having this yes or no of, is she hot enough? And on the other hand, it allows you just to stand out by giving a compliment that she probably never got before. Like, I would not mind approaching a girl, telling her how I like her legs, because that's something I like a lot, and she probably never hears that. She hears every day that she's cute, beautiful, that she has probably nice eyes, that she's good looking, that she dresses well. Go beyond that. Take more time to figure out what exactly is attractive in her and how to convey that in the most powerful way. Like, just go all in, 100%.
And she'll appreciate that more.
It's the perceptual shift. It's like going out there to constantly chase materials that are gonna make you happy versus just actualizing your own self-love and self-understanding and then naturally attracting that stuff. I mean, this is why celebrities kill themselves, right? Yeah. It's like the millionaire that thinks that next million is gonna be his security, right? And then he gets it and he's like, no, I need another million and another million. And it never ends. And the guy spends his entire life focusing on making money instead of slowing down and actually enjoying the wealth that he...
Yeah, the pursuit of happiness is the journey, not the destination. Yeah.
When it comes to relationships and dating is the journey.
Yeah.
Working on yourself. Working on, like I said, the inner game and the outer game. So come on a boot camp where we'll work on mastering your inner game, your mentality, your thoughts, your beliefs, as well as your outer game, actually what to do and what to say when you see a beautiful woman that you want to talk to.
So if you guys like the content and hearing from these 5 badasses all at the same time, click that like and subscribe button and make sure you ring that notification bell for more awesomeness coming your way from the attractive man.
And leave a comment down below. Let us know what other videos you'd like to see on this channel, what other questions you have that you want us to answer for you. This is the Attractive Man team, and we'll see you in the next video.